Hi everyone, let's talk corporate wardrobe. I was having a chat with a trainer a couple of days ago, and she was saying she's going to need to get a corporate wardrobe. Now she wasn't a trainer, I called her trainer, actually she was a teacher and she wanted to get into training, and she said, I'm going to need a corporate wardrobe. And I thought, okay, let me chat to you about what you will and won't need and my thoughts around your corporate wardrobe. So first off is you don't have to spend a fortune. When she said, I need a corporate wardrobe, that felt to me like she was going to dash out and buy a whole new wardrobe of heaps of pairs of pants and skirts and jackets and suits and all sorts. Not necessary. Lovely when you can, and when you get up to that, if that's what you want to have a huge selection, great, but you don't have to have a massive selection, because if you think about it, it's not like a paid job where people are going to see you every day and you need to be in different blouses and jackets and shirts because people will notice that you're wearing the same thing. When you're in corporate, you're going in to deliver training and to come out, and you may just have a one-day training, or you may have another one perhaps scheduled with a different group, or perhaps the following week you're going to add on to your program. The point is, you don't need heaps and heaps and heaps of amazing jackets and different suits and different anything like that, because they're not going to see you that often. So I would say just have a few nice enough jackets, or perhaps a suit or two that you're going to use. But the good news is you can mix it up, you can change the blouse underneath. You're not having to come up with something completely new for every time that people see you. Now I've got a couple of tips to give you, and they're things that I do in my corporate training business. When you are going to have a company that uses you, say, once a week for 6-week program or something like that, write it down in your diary what you wore, because it's easy to remember what you wore yesterday, but it's not easy to remember 2 weeks ago when it was the same delegates, what did I wear? So I always put down the color shirt I wore, and if I wore, a jacket with it, or what I did, so that I can glance very quickly back and go, oh, I wore that pink shirt already, I'm not going to wear it again. So it's a practical way, otherwise they think you've only got one pink shirt. Now I would think that you need 2 tiers of dress, and by tier I mean one level of formality and another level of formality, so that you're appropriate. Now your very top level of formality is going to be for your keynote addresses, for your conferences, for clients that really dress very, very corporate every day. So it may be your banking sector, it may be some insurance sectors, legal firms often have a very high standard of dress, and then you're wanting to match that. So I would wear a suit, I would wear something very formal, a formal dress, things like that, closed shoes for those. Whereas when you're wanting, it's your next tier of training where it perhaps is not as corporate. So say recently I was training a care institute, and they wanted to develop their senior managers, their middle managers, and some of their up-and-coming leaders. And so I didn't want to go suited and booted, really, really formal, to be, heaps different to how they would dress in the workplace. So that's where your second tier comes in. And your second tier would be a business shirt and pants, or a skirt. Something that doesn't have to be as formal. It doesn't have to be a matching suit that you're wearing. You always want to be well dressed, and you want to be the most well dressed in the room, of course. And by that I don't mean that you have to spend $1,000 on a designer jacket. I mean it needs to be nicely laundered, it needs to look nice. You don't have to spend a fortune on designer clothes unless you particularly like to, or when you want to, okay? So I think just well put together. People need to go, you're nicely put together, you look the part for a corporate trainer. And that means fairly conservative. You don't want anyone to think, wow, quirky, way out there, unless it's very much part of your unique selling proposition. And I'll tell you a story I had towards the end of last year. I was very surprised that I had a trainer contact me because she wanted to work for my training organization. And so she had sent me a video and she wanted me to look at her training style in action. And her training style was fine. I was able to give her feedback. But the way she was dressed was not. I was flabbergasted that for a very corporate room that she was training, she had spaghetti strap top on, she had tight black pants, and she had a nice belt. So she looked nice, she looked nice enough, but not for corporate. So I don't think that was appropriate. You know, she might have been able to go out at night or to dinner or whatever it might be, looking like that. But for corporate, spaghetti straps and a belt and tight black shoes, and I think she had little boots on, was not for corporate training as far as I'm concerned. So I had to give her feedback that I thought her attire wasn't formal enough for corporate, because you really want to look the part. But the point is, you don't need to dash out and buy a full wardrobe. You don't need to dash out and buy jackets that are an absolute fortune. All you need to do is have a few nice pieces to start with, and remember to write down in your diary, electronic or paper, what it was you wore, so that when you do go back, you're able to remember and keep it in mind for that. And remember, you've got your 2 tiers. Your one is your most formal for very formal events, and your second is nicely put together. And the reason too much, you want to be on a par, but you want to be nicely dressed for that. Okay, I know that will have helped. Please comment below, ask me your questions, ask me your grooming questions for corporate training, and I'd love to answer them for you. Okay, thanks everyone, bye.